Well, hey y'all, and welcome to RV Kitchen. Listen, honey, we're about to make a meal that's cheap, easy, and delicious out of this stovetop. Y'all come on in and pull you up a chair while I get going on this recipe. Honey, the hubby requested broken meatballs, so I said, all right, you got it. So in a bowl, I've got 1 egg, 1 pound of ground Italian sausage, and 1 pound of lean ground turkey. Now, honey, you make up whatever kind of meat combo you want, but this is what we're going to go with tonight. And then I've added in about 3 green onions, roughly chopped, and then we're going to add in some salt, some garlic powder, some onion powder, some parsley, because greenery is always nice. Ooh, and don't forget that black pepper. I like a little extra black pepper in this. And then we're going to dump in some Italian seasoning because we're going to get this a nice Italiano flair. Ooh, that's smelling gorgeous. Now, honey, I'm sorry I don't have measurements for the seasoning, but, I just let my ancestors do whatever, and they just decide what I need to put in. Now, because we like a little spice in our life, so we're going to drop in some chili flakes and about a tablespoon of garlic or 3 to 4 cloves of fresh. Just mince it up the best you can, baby. Now, honey, break out that stovetop that you've had in the back of the pantry for God knows how long, and find somebody in the house that can beat the snot out of it. This would be a great job for a little kid or a husband, Now, while they're crushing that, we're also going to add in about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, but by all means, add more if you would like. And honey, because I love catching myself some pasta sauce on sale, I'm just going to break out a jar of marinara sauce and add in a couple of tablespoons there. By the way, honey, you could totally make this into a meatloaf, and I do have that recipe uploaded, and it's just a click away, baby. All right, let's see how well hubby broke that up. Not too bad, baby. That's perfect. I bet he used his strong hand. All right, dump all that deliciousness in there. And keep in mind, you probably won't need as much salt because this has got quite a bit of seasoning already in it. And honey, the best tools you got here in the kitchen is going to be those hands. Just make sure they're clean. And I mean soap and water clean, not up the nose clean. All right, honey, here comes the easier part. So, normally when you go to make meatballs, you got to roll them out, give them a little sear, and then line them up in a pan, cover them in sauce, and throw them in the oven. And, honey, that's if you're making them homemade. Shoot, I have nothing against throwing them right out of the freezer into a pot. Now, with that heat on a medium-high, honey, you're just going to let that sear and flip, and then you sear and flip, and you just keep doing that until it's all done. Now, keep in mind, this is a pretty good batch. And, honey, my ancestors said that's not enough Italian seasoning, so we're going to add a little bit more in. And honey, I came up with this recipe one night after a failed meatball mission. Yes, honey, I have my oopsies too. But like Bob Ross said, if you don't have nothing to eat, just cook your squirrel. Oh, Lord. And I've got recipes for those too, baby. All right, so once your broken meatballs get done, honey, you're going to pull them out of your pan, and then you're going to get going on the next step. So I'm going to just brown up a little bit of garlic here in some cooking oil. That was actually avocado oil. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add that into our marinara sauce. Because, honey, it's fine right out the jar, but we want to give it a little razzle-dazzle. Swim some pasta in that sauce, and then, honey, you're going to plate it up and then top that with your broken meatballs. Ooh. Yes, I do think a healthy portion of cheese is in need here. Well, honey, I hope you try this out because it's always a big hit in the RV kitchen. And the best thing about it is you get all that flavor with half the work. Cheap, easy, and delicious. Open up, baby. I'll see you next time. Oh.